We're looking at homework for section 5.2. This is question number 4. It's a multi-part question. In a survey of a group of men, the heights in the 20 to 29 age group were normally distributed, with a mean of 68.7 inches and a standard deviation of 4.0 inches. A study participant is randomly selected. Complete parts A through D below. So we'll start with part A. Find the probability that a study participant has a height that is less than 67 inches. So we have to find our z-score for x equals 67. The z-score formula is z equals x minus mu over sigma. So in this context, it would be 67 minus 68.7 over 4. 67 minus 68.7 is negative 1.7 over 4, which ends up being negative 0.425. We're going to round to 2 decimal places because the z-scores in our standard normal distribution table are 2 decimal place z-scores, so this would round to negative 0.43. Since that's a negative z-score, we're going to need the negative side of the standard normal distribution table. We look up z equals negative 0.43, and we find our table value, which ends up being our area, of 0.3336. So the probability that x is less than 67 is going to be 0.3336. So that's your answer for part A. For part B, find the probability that a study participant has a height that is between 67 and 70 inches. So we already found the z-score that was associated with the x equals 67, so let's go ahead and find the z-score for x equals 70. When x equals 70, we use x minus mu over sigma, so that's going to be 70 minus 68.7 over 4, which is 1.3 over 4, which is 0.325, rounded to 2 decimal places, is 0.33. So that means we need the positive side of the standard normal distribution table. So our table value here is going to be 0.6293, and then our probability, we can use the value from part A along with this value we just found for x equals 70, and it's going to be 0.6293 minus the 0.3336 from part A, because we always do the table value that's furthest right minus the table value on the left. And when we do this subtraction, we end up with 0.2957. And that is your answer for part B. For part C, we're looking to find the probability that a study participant has a height that is more than 70 inches. So we've already computed the z-score for x equals 70. It was z equals 0.33. So because this is a greater than area, a greater than probability, then we do 1 minus the table value for that z-score, and we get 1 minus 0.6293, which gives us an area of 0.3707, and that area is equal to the probability. So the probability that x is greater than 70 is 0.3707. Now we're ready to answer part D. Identify any unusual events. Well, remember, an unusual event would be an event that had a probability that was less than 0.05. So when you look back at parts A, B, and C, none of those were less than 0.05, so there are no unusual events. And that's your answer.